Today, a decision in the case that could shape the future of the Georgia indictment. Fulton County DA Fani Willis told she can stay on the case if she had removed Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. And here, within the past hour, Atlanta News First received a copy of Wade's written resignation from the case and Willis's decision to accept. Former President Donald Trump is one of multiple co-defendants in the case examining possible interference in the 2020 election.
Atlanta News First Rachel Aragon is live for us outside of the Fulton County Courthouse. Rachel, the former president and much of the country has waited weeks now for this decision.
Yeah, in fact, and there's been new developments all day long here, but the big news now, you just laid out Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade handing over that resignation letter. In that very letter, he explains why he's stepping down, saying, quote, in the interest of democracy and to move this case as quickly as possible. And now that we have this letter and action from Wade, it provides a little more clarity on how this criminal case will go forward.
It's saying I will not preside over a case where the legitimacy of the case is in question.
The request to disqualify Willis and Wade coming from one of Trump's co-defendants. He alleged the pair improperly benefited from a romantic relationship. Attorneys for other co-defendants supported the move.
I personally feel like the entire office should have been disqualified.
A few weeks ago, District Attorney Willis took to the stand to defend herself.
It is a lie. It is a lie.
She acknowledged a relationship with Wade, but argued there was no conflict of interest. In his ruling, Judge McAfee says the defendants failed to meet their burden of proving that the district attorney acquired an actual conflict of interest. He goes on to say, however, the established record now highlights a significant appearance of impropriety that infects the current structure of the prosecution team, an appearance that must be removed through the state's selection of one of two options. The state's selection of one of two options. Now, while Judge McAfee did allow this case to proceed, though, he did highly criticize Fani Willis's judgment in his case. We also know, though, that Trump himself, the attorneys for Trump, sending in a statement that he respects the court's decision, but they will fight this case and continue to do so. Live in downtown Atlanta, Rachel Aragon, Atlanta News First.